Hey guys, it is Melissa, and today we are going to talk about Walt Disney and his leadership. I chose Walt Disney because I admire him, but I also do not like him. It's kind of complicated, but we'll get into that. So let's get started. Okay, so Walt Disney is a boy. So he was born in Chicago to Elias and Flora. He's one of five children, and he lived on a farm in Marceline, Missouri. He was forced by his father to get up at 3 o'clock every day and deliver newspapers, and again after school, and when he was only 9 years old. He didn't like school, so when he was 16, he quit and he joined the Red Cross Ambulance Corps and deployed to France during World War One. When he was 18, he came back to the United States, and he was offered a job working at a factory with his dad that he turned down. Eventually, he moved on to California and started his own production company after working for a production company in Kansas. Okay, so how it all began. Walt grew up in very humble beginnings. His dad would spank him almost every single day with a switch. If you ever been hit by a switch, it hurts a lot. It's very painful. So he escaped by drawing cartoons and then selling them to his neighbors at the age of 7 to make a little bit extra money. Okay, early successes and failures. His very first successful cartoon, it was a laugh-o-gram called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and this was also a failure. It was a failure in that he didn't license the image, and so his business partner's husband stole him. Walt also wasn't making a lot of money, but he was paying his employees no money, and so they were working with him. So at the same time that the business partner's husband stole the cartoon character, they also sold his animators, all except like two or three, because he could pay them. He then went to create with Oob Iwerks. He created Mickey Mouse. Oob was in charge of the creation and development, and Walt gave the voice and the personality to the mouse. Another success was Steamboat Willie, which featured Mickey Mouse, and it was the first animated picture that featured sound seeking with animation, so it was very successful. His very first animated full-length movie was Snow White. It was in Technicolor, and it released in 1937. Okay, so we've already mentioned a couple of the failures with Oswald the Rabbit. I think the biggest thing is that his first company had failed because he didn't know how to run a business. He was getting paid. His employees were not. Walt begged his brother Roy to join him in creating Walt Disney Productions, and Roy was like, no, just get a job. Walt was like, well, we could do this, and so Roy was able to bring the business some he steadied the business, structured the business, not steadied, lost for words. So anyway, things looked really great on the outside, but when you dig in deeper, it really wasn't. There were unfair wages, the unfair working conditions. His lead animator, Herbert Sorrell, who came up with the concept of Goofy, he actually led the other animators into a strike against Walt for unfair working conditions. It was a big strike for all of the animators, for all of the other companies as well, but this is how Walt's company got dragged into it. Disneyland was a successful failure. That term was stolen from the Apollo 13 mission. And I say that because it wasn't ready to open. The water fountains were not working. The people's feet were sinking into the pavement because it was hot, because it wasn't cured. Civil rights were not working, but people came anyway. And I think that is because he taught it up on a weekly television program on ABC. Um, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi were also failures in the sense that they did not bring in the revenue that would be enough to cover the production. So they were kind of, bankrupt. Not bankrupt, but in debt because of those movies. Okay, Walt's strengths. This is where the admiration comes in. What is his innovator and entrepreneur? I think he was a great man to think about the technology that they didn't have back then that he led. He led in animation. He led in sound to animation, syncing. He had a knack for making dreams come true. His dreams, but people's dreams. And even if you look at how Disneyland was built in California, it was built so that you would not be part of the outside world. It was like a separate city almost, but with like no traffic and things. He was a salesman. He could sell anything. I can't. Maybe one day. He loved to storytell. He was driven, and that comes from being from his humble beginnings. And he loved innovation, and he had great family values. He took his kids to school every day and drove them home every day. He was really loves his family, and he spoiled his family greatly. One daughter was born, the other with his wife, and the other one they adopted. His leadership style, like he was diplomatic and strict and ruthless. He had one of his top animators, at Walt Disney Productions, that he fired. And the reason that he fired him was because he would do his work, and then he would clean the office. And Walt was like, I'm not paying you to clean the office, I'm paying you to draw. So the gentleman in the story, that was the animator, he said he came to work on Monday and his office was cleaned out. He didn't have a rug, he didn't have a desk, he didn't have anything, like it was gone. And so that's what he was told. He wasn't empathetic to his employees or their needs. He wasn't in touch with his employees, and he had no leadership structure. It was kind of like all over the place. Walt Disney Productions, an animator on both levels with like two different or the same experience would get paid two different salaries. So there's just no structure at all in how you ran his company. But I gotta say, like, he built a legacy. He built a global empire for entertainment, for family entertainment. There are 4 parks, maybe 5 parks now. A cruise line. Disney has ABC, ESPN, Fox, The Simpsons, Star Wars, Marvel, among other things. Worldwide vacation destinations, Hilton Head, Hawaii, in Europe. They have Vacations by Disney, where they take you, like you could go to Asia, you could go to China, and you would dig deep into the culture, and but have nice accommodations. He's really focused on providing a family a place to have a vacation. And to enjoy themselves. He took a lot of criticism during the 60s and 70s because his stuff was too pure during the Vietnam War. And he just kept on. So I admire that. Like he left behind great. I don't agree with everything that Disney is doing now, but I do agree with how it started and how quickly it grew into this empire. All right, comparing just a little bit of me with Walt and just kind of like hit things. He wasn't educated. He didn't have 2 honorary degrees from Yale and Harvard. He has I feel that he has a militant leadership style. He's a talker. He liked to talk. He never took no for an answer. But I will say that both of us come from humble beginnings. I believe in family values. I have grit, like I have that drive. I'm driven. I have dreams, and I'm following them. I'm pursuing them. And both of us, obviously, are technical savvy. I mean, come on, I work in IT, and he built an empire with animations and robotics and stuff. Have you ever been to the Hall of Presidents? That's amazing. Okay, some of the things that I've learned from Walt is to get to know your employees and meet their needs. Get to know the people that you're working with, meet their needs, like not all of their needs. Pay them fairly, right? So if you could dream it, you could do it. That's actually a quote from him. It's on the next slide, but whatever. Do not let anything hold you down. Just go after it. I'm kind of reserved, but I think it's still amazing. You can learn from your mistakes. I think he did that, especially with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and then creating Mickey Mouse. Don't run from controversy. I put that in there because when the strike was going on, he just left. He just packed up and left and went to South America for 10 weeks. And when he came back, it was fixed. Like Roy fixed it all and gave all of the union strikers whatever they wanted. And learn a skill and be good at it. Just do it. Whether it's drawing, singing, playing the piano, whatever. And of course, at the sign at the end of Disney World, I'll see you real soon. That's Mickey Mouse. And I mentioned already, if you could dream it, you could do it, Walt Disney. And I do hold that. So thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you're able to learn just a little bit more about the man that created this global entertainment empire. Bye.